I'd like to call to order the April 18th, 2022 Wilson County Commission meeting to order. Welcome all of our guests here tonight and ask you to come back any opportunity that you may have. This time I will introduce Commissioner Keith for our prayer and pledge tonight.
I'd like to thank you folks for coming out to the meeting tonight. I'd like to welcome Mr. Lenny Cluck. He's a member of the 109 Church of Christ. He's also a mentor and an elder of mine, and tonight I'd like to show appreciation for the greatest generation, a valuable asset to have to listen and learn from. Thank you.
Please rise.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank Thee for this day. We thank Thee for each person that is assembled here tonight. We ask Thee to especially be with the commissioners. Give them let them look to Thee for the wisdom, the strength, the patience that they need as they make decisions to lead this county forward. We thank Thee also for that we live in a country such as this, that we enjoy the freedoms of assembly and other freedoms. We ask Thee to be with our military, that as they protect us from foreign sources that would stop these freedoms. We again ask Thee to be with the council. We pray that as we leave this place tonight, that You give each of us a safe trip home and to dismiss us in Thy care. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Cluck, for being here tonight. You will now press yes on your panel to record your presence at tonight's meeting.
Awful dark. You see that? You sure we're here? Sonia.
Got 'em good. 25-0, everybody's present at this time. We were not having a historic moment to my knowledge. Report from the steering committee, Commissioner Patton.
The steering committee met in regular session on Thursday, April the 7th, in the conference room. The minutes are in your packet. I move that they be received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Adoption of the agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And consent agenda.
Motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Got a motion, second. Any discussion? Do I need to vote on it? Call the roll. Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner, all hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0, resolution passes. There are none special recognition tonight, to my knowledge, at this time. We will move. I'm going to do that during my time. Is it okay? Report from the Minutes Committee, Commissioner Bishop. I'm sorry, no, hang on. We have a public hearing tonight, and at this time I'll introduce Mr. Tom Bashers. No, that's good. Is there a motion to go out of session?
Motion to go out of session. Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Mr. Tom?
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a public hearing that will be held before the Wilson County Commission on Monday, April 18th, 2022 at 7 p.m. or thereafter in the County Commission Room located here at 228 East Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee. The following item is up for your consideration. The application has been made by Steve Yarborough with permission from the property owner, Landmark Pentecostal, Pentecostal Church, care of Val Johnson, to rezone approximately 9.8 acres from A1 agricultural zoning to I1 light industrial. This property is located at 3762 Murfreesboro Road and is further referenced as Wilson County Property Map 114, Parcel 25. A copy of this request has been on file in the County Planning Development Services Office, Planning Division, located in the basement here at 228 East Main Street, and has been available for inspection during regular business hours. The rezoning request will be heard on final reading by the County Commission following the public hearing. Anyone desiring to comment is requested to come forward at this time.
Anybody here wants to speak on this property, please step forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, please. The one in the back. Thank you.
Stephen Yarborough, and I'm actually the owner. I'm not, Val Johnson's no longer the owner of the property. It was a agricultural property. The building was built as an industrial type building. It has a gymnasium behind it. I'm in the entertainment coach business. We use the parking lot to store my coaches, and what was the classrooms for the sanctuary is we want to use for my offices, and the gymnasium we want to use for light work on my entertainer coaches.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on this property tonight? If not, we'll close public comment period, and I'll ask a motion to go back into session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Tom?
Okay, and to be clear, what I think the testimony you heard from the participant from the public hearing is he is in fact the owner of the property at this point, and he is the applicant, Mr. Yarborough. When he first applied for this rezoning, I believe it was still in Landmark Pentecostal's name and title, and I guess in the interim, they went ahead and made the sale and closed. With that, the following application for rezoning of property will be presented to the full County Commission on Monday, April 18th, 2022 for final recommendation. An application has been made by Stephen Yarborough with permission, who is the owner at this point, per his own testimony, to rezone approximately 9.8 acres from A1 agricultural to I1 light industrial zoning. The property is located at 3762 Murfreesboro Road and is further referenced as Wilson County Property Map 114, Parcel 25. The rezoning request was presented to the Wilson County Planning Commission on March 18th, 2022, and has been forwarded to the Wilson County Commission with a positive recommendation.
Commissioner Ash?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It did come out of the Planning Commission with a positive recommendation. I think it was 6, 1 abstained, I abstained, but that's there, and this is now. I've talked to the neighbors. There's no one out there that's opposed it to me. Listen, guys, this is right across from the county convenience center, and a whole lot you can do with this kind of piece of property, I wouldn't think, going forward. So I'd send it to this body with a positive approval to pass it.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the property? All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed?
I'd like to abstain.
Okay. So unanimous aside one abstaining. Okay. All righty.
That concludes my business in front of you this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Tom.
Thank you.
Reports of Minutes Committee, Commissioner Bishop.
Minutes Committee met April the 7th, 2022 at 5:30 in the upstairs conference room at the courthouse with 3 members present. The minutes were approved as were printed and sent in this packet. I make a motion for this report to be received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reading of the minutes.
Make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Tonight, communication from the chair. We'll just recommendation of the board appointing Mr. Clark Sampson, which was recommended by the LaGuardia Utility District for a 4-year term. There's no action on your part, just to read that into the minutes. Also want to read a proclamation, if I can, on Think Green, Think Clean, provided by all 4 mayors in the county. Whereas littering in Tennessee costs over $15 million annually, whereas 28% of litter is classified as intentionally litter, meaning it is thrown right out of vehicles or windows. 72% is considered negligent litter, which includes vehicle debris, trash flying out of the back of uncovered pickup trucks or beds. Whereas it is the responsibility and heritage of Tennessee to keep Tennessee clean. The Wilson County Stormwater Group, Lebanon Stormwater Department, Mount Juliet Stormwater Division, Wilson County Stormwater Department, and the City of Watertown strive to keep Wilson County beautiful and litter-free. These organizations encourage environmental-friendly projects throughout the stormwater programs. The City of Lebanon Beautification Commission is sponsoring the 12th Annual Think Green, Think Clean campaign. This campaign involves numerous activities involving the youth of our county. And in 2019, over 501 students and volunteers collected 343 contractor-sized bags of litter countywide. Through such success, educational hands-on events, and our children will make a conscious effort to be good stewards of our community. With all the mayors of Wilson County, do hereby proclaim Saturday, April the 30th, 2022, a Think Green, Think Clean Day in Wilson County, and urge all citizens to join in with that ordinance. I will also like to commend Cindy Lynch, as we had a a solid waste regional planning board meeting. Just the amount of debris that they have diverted from the landfill. It was 53% maybe last year. This year it's well over 60%. And so they do a great job of working with the industries and also our homeowners on keeping trash out of our landfill. This time I will introduce Commissioner Fields for recognition tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On April the 2nd, if you remember, was a very cold and dreary Saturday morning. But there was a group of young ladies and young men who appeared at the First Baptist Church of Mount Juliet to assist the American Legion Auxiliary with unloading over 2,200 trees from their 12th annual tree sale. One of those groups was Troop 150 out of Mount Juliet, and I would like to ask Committee Chair Michelle Oakley and some of her senior leadership to come up front. These people worked their behinds off, okay? They were there early, 6:30 in the morning on the Saturday morning, and stayed till noon or later to make sure that all trees were picked up and given and distributed to the right people who placed the orders. And without those ladies of the auxiliary, you could not have done it. So along with the Mount Juliet JROTC and the Green Hill High School JROTC, these people are the citizens of tomorrow, and believe me, I have a renewed hope for our future. Thank you, guys, and Chairman Oakley, would you introduce your...
Yes. Oh, excuse me. This is Hayden Chateri. He is our quartermaster. He has been our senior patrol leader, which is the highest position in the troop. This is Tyler Oakley. He is currently our assistant senior patrol leader. Hayden is working on his way to Eagle Scout, so he's going to be our next Eagle Scout out of Troop 150, and Tyler will be shortly behind him.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you for serving Wilson County and being here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Fields. Any notaries to be added to the list?
The list is
Handed out, okay. Do I hear a motion to approve a notary list?
So moved.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Board of Equalization, 3 members you are to appoint to the Board of Equalization for a 2-year term. I'd like to recommend for your consideration Mr. Blake Hall, Mr. Bart Brown, and Mr. Jerry Dow. Information about these candidates were in your packet.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. And opposed? Board of Equalization, of course, as they meet every day in June, and we never know what the docket's going to be, but a lot of times we don't know what the candidates may encounter. So we have 2 alternates there. You are to appoint 2 alternates to the Board of Equalization for a 2-year term as well. I'd like to recommend for your consideration Mr. David Yost and Mr. Russell Neal. Information about these were in your packet as well.
Second.
I heard a motion from somebody
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on these? All in favor say aye. would like to appreciate all these members for serving because it is a tedious task and a well-done job in the last year or so by this group. Solid Waste Regional Planning Board member, my term for the Solid Waste Regional Planning Board is up for reappointment. I'd be honored to serve another 6 terms if possible. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Judicial Commissioners, at this time I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Glover.
Judicial Commissioner Director, if you go ahead and step up. As she's stepping up, we had some people we brought before you last month. One of the people that we brought forth decided she didn't want the job, and so that's why we're here this month. So just kind of let you know how the process, once we approve it here, it goes back, we offer a job offer after we do some of the other pre-employment stuff. And so sometimes there's a short time in between that people either find a better offer, decide they don't want to do it, or go somewhere for more money. So that's why we're here again this month. Go ahead.
Mr. Glover. Your Honor, Mr. Jennings. Commissioners, good evening. Tonight, I would like to present a part-time judicial commissioner candidate to serve a 1-year term. His name is Mr. Brett Roselle. Mr. Roselle's with us tonight. He's standing in the back. Mr. Roselle is a resident of Lebanon. He is also a member of the Tennessee Bar. He brings to the Office of the Judicial Commissioner significant legal experience. He's been a licensed attorney and practiced in the area of several different kinds of law for approximately 14 years now, and we are most anxious to have him on board as a part-time judicial commissioner. He's been considered and presented, endorsed by the Judicial Committee, as you heard Mr. Glover explain. So we would like you to consider Mr. Roselle for our newest judicial commissioner.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Thank you. Report from the Emergency Management Committee, Commissioner Glover.
Emergency Management Committee met April 5th, upstairs conference room. Move that the minutes be received and filed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Emergency Management Director's report, Mr. Brian Newberry.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Director Cooper is out of town at a emergency management conference this week, so I'll step up with the report tonight. You do have in your packet the monthly report for your districts that are broken down and also the monthly call volume. And if you'll notice on that, just to kind of break that down a little bit in comparison, medical calls was 1,370, fire 74, rescue is 248 for a total of 1,692. In comparison to last year, that's up about 137, I believe was the exact number on that. So EMA functions that are continuing is the COVID-19 recovery, tornado recovery, but mostly paperwork type stuff. And then this month's actually been a pretty busy month with weather, as April typically is. So there's weekly meetings with the National Weather Service, webinars, those type of situations. Just to review the status of the agency, we're still working on the contingency plan approved back in October of last year for station closures. Currently, we've got 25 vacancies. I think we have about 2 in the pipeline to hopefully come on board in the next week or 2. Short-term, long-term outages, we have 5, and that could be anything from workman's comp, surgery, et cetera, FMLA, those type of situations. With the stations, today is one of the first days in a long time that we can report that all of them were open. And at 2 or 3 points today, we had administrative people running ambulances because we were that busy today. So just to let you know, the volume's up as always, and I'm sure you'll hear Chief Owen mention the same thing from the Sheriff's Department and all the other departments, working more with less, but we're making it happen. And all the other data should be in your packet, and that's all I've got unless you have any questions.
It'll be received and filed.
Second.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Report from Law Enforcement Committee, Commissioner Rich.
No report.
Sheriff's report, Chief Owen.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you guys had a great Easter weekend. And for all of you that's running for re-election, good luck. Wish you the best. All right, refer to your packets, please. As you can see, the calls for service continue to rise. The traffic enforcement locations that we've started, as you can see, we're still getting a lot of traffic calls, but nowhere near what we've had in the past. So evidently it's being kind of effective what we're doing, so that's helping. Everything is pretty well up, as you can see. Jail population still remains at a constant, close to the max. Jail project is still as scheduled. Still, it's ahead of schedule. Work crews are out. I know there's a lot going on with the weather and the storms and so forth. They've been working diligently. We had one issue with one of the buses. We had a transportation problem, so they were down for about a week, but they're back up now, so they're full staffed and running. We are have one vacancy as far as the state of the sheriff's office goes. That's a dispatcher. And we have 15 correctional officers open. 2 resigned Sunday. I came down and talked with them, and we had 3 additional resigning in today. So right now we have 20 vacancies. It's a concern, all right, but we're doing what we're doing. We're working, okay? It's just a concern, all right? It's a concern. That's about it. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, Chief Owen. Report from Education Committee, Commissioner Stafford.
Mr. Chair, fellow commissioners, the Education Committee met Thursday, April the 7th at 5 p.m. in upstairs conference room. If there are no questions, I move these minutes be received and filed.
Have a motion to second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Director of Schools report, Mr. Jeff Luttrell.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. You do have in your packet my report. You have a summary of our last board meeting. I do want to mention at that board meeting two things that I thought was very important. Was the board approved Rutland Elementary outdoor classroom that was paid for with the PTO at approximately $11,000. They've raised and they'll be adding that outdoor classroom at Rutland. Also at Lakeview. They applied for a grant, national grant, for a Kaboom playground. All I can tell you is it's state of the art, and they have won that grant. So we approved that to move forward with that. That will be no cost to the district too. So I'd like to thank those teachers and administrators for seeing a need in their school and meeting that need. Enrollment continues to still rise. Since 2/28, we're up about 100 students. We're pushing in our pre-K through 12, 19,645 students. We're still seeing that increase. With that, attendance rate has remained for the year cumulative 93.48%, which is outstanding. We are having some issues with repeat offenders in that category, and we're looking at really making that a priority next year. But overall, our attendance has been absolutely outstanding this year. With that, of course, requires more staffing. We're working on our budget. As we bring our budget, I hope you recognize our focus. Priority number one is going to be to pay our teachers within our budget as best we can. What we're running up against is, even with taking those steps, districts around us are already increasing pay. But we are committed to paying our teachers more to try to be more competitive. As far as our staffing, we are getting by. We've had a really difficult time with interims this spring semester, finding qualified interim certified teachers to come in for those that are on leave. We're starting our new student and pre-K enrollment. That's already taken place, and we'll begin returning student enrollment. Doesn't open until July the 8th. But we're already hearing from new students that are moving to this area and will be attending our schools next year. May 25th is last student day, and May 26th will be the last day for teachers. You have in your packet our graduation ceremony dates and times. I would encourage you, please contact the school office if you plan to attend that so that they'll be aware. We're right in the middle of planning for our summer learning camps. We call it SAIL, Students Accelerating Through Innovation Learning. This is, we've started this last year. We're continuing it, and I think we're very much needed. We'll have 8 learning camp site locations. We did make an adjustment with approval from the state, and it will be June 1st through June 30th, from 7:45 to 2:45, but it will not go into July. That will give them a break. Last year we went a little bit farther into July, and a lot of feedback said that teachers and students and families would have appreciated that month of July off. But we're excited about that, and our numbers, we're still taking registration. Once those kids that we have contacted and their families have the opportunity, if we don't fill all of our slots, then we'll open it up to any of our students that want to attend that during that time. Proud of our fiscal year 22 audit, clean findings. I'd like to thank Mr. Smith, his staff, and not just his staff, but everybody in Wilson County Schools, with handles all the financial details on a daily, monthly basis. No findings. So we had a clean audit, so we're proud of that. Did have a visit from Penny Swin Friday, April the 1st. We went around to several classrooms, toured Lebanon High School. She was coming through the area, wanted to stop by, and got to showcase some of our CTE programs, some of our science programs, and she was very complimentary of what she witnessed. We did have a special called board meeting April the 7th. We were looking at rezoning, giving more information. We'll be bringing recommendations, try to alleviate some of our overcrowded schools for a little while, so that's important. There's a lot of talk. Rezoning's difficult for everybody involved and would not be even mentioned out of my lips if it was not a necessity. But we've got some schools pushing 108 to 110%, and we have to look at the safety and things and make some tough decisions on rezoning. So that will be on our May agenda. You have in your report pictures. I hope it's in there. It should be in there of our progress on Stoner Creek. As you can see, they're making progress there. We've been delayed a little bit here in the last 2 or 3 weeks by weather. These rain days hurt, but let's hope we get that warm weather and that sun, and I think you'll see some major strides in that project once that takes place. West Wilson Middle, we've got a bid opening on May the 12th. It's went out, and we look forward to that, to get those bids back on May the 12th. Update on our attempt to purchase land. They are continuing and looking, still doing some of the tests. I know the soil tests are scheduling that, but everybody seems to be backed up, and these rain dates impact that as well. But they're hopefully within, here in a couple of weeks, going to have those tests done, and then we'll have to wait and see. Some of that work has already been done, but I will bring a report to you once that is done. Congratulations in order. I want to just briefly, big news out of Mount Juliet Middle School. If you've seen Tyler Halstead in a surprise event last week, and a really nice event. It's kind of the Oscars of education. It's the Millikan Educator Award. And please understand, this award, you cannot nominate yourself. You cannot nominate peers. There's no application process. This is a think tank, the Millikan Family Education, that's looking around the country at data and pinpointing and looking. Number one, they're looking for successful districts. They then go to successful schools, and then they dive deeper into that data and find the teachers they feel the most responsible. And so we had a surprise visit. Governor Bill Lee, Commissioner of Education, Jane Foley from the Millikan Family Foundation. They were at Green Hill High School April the 7th. Presented him with that award. That is a very prestigious award. I cannot tell you how prestigious. A lot of people don't understand. He is now in a brotherhood and a family of educators that is really special and will have opportunity to impact future decisions around the nation on what we're doing in the education field. But along with that, he was presented a check for $25,000 that he gets to do anything he wants to with. And if you've seen that event, immediately everybody was trying to get to him and had to do all the press stuff. And I said, now, we're gonna want you to be at the board meetings. There's probably gonna be some commissioners. He said, I've got tennis after school. Wait till we get through tennis, and then we'll talk. But that shows his dedication and why you're seeing effectiveness. But just a great event, but more importantly, a great award, and we're proud of that educator. Also, Jake Hammond, our CTE supervisor, is a young man has been awarded the Cte Pioneer Award from Middle Tennessee. He's making tremendous strides in our career technical, working with industry partners, looking at some innovative things that are going on, and that's been recognized here in Middle Tennessee for what he's doing. And most importantly, to our students, you have in your report, most of the report, if you'll see, is what our students have accomplished in our CTE programs from FFA, FBLA, HOSA, I know culinary. You have those by each school. It impacts each of you in some way, as kids from your school have been winning on the regional and state. We have even some will be competing internationally. A lot will be competing nationally this summer, but we have one team that will be competing internationally. So we're excited for them, and I will keep you informed as that moves forward. Invite you to our regular scheduled board meeting, May the 2nd. The work session will be April the 28th, if you'd like to attend. That is my report.
Will the report be received and filed?
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Director Luttrell. Register of Deeds report, Ms. Murphy is here, and I guess she wants to speak.
Good evening, everyone. You should have your report in your packet, but I do apologize. There is a discrepancy on the 2021-2022 calculation of 3/4. I do want to correct that. If you look at the bottom of the page where it says excess fees, that should be $1,065,941.95. The DP fee should be $63,314, and the total document should be $32,284. Just to clear that up, for some reason that did not calculate correct, and I do apologize. The next thing is, I don't know if you recall, but Mr. Mike Jennings and we worked on a resolution, and we brought forward to you to try to retain the 2.4% of the mortgage and transfer taxes. That is still in legislation. Honestly, it's going to be like pulling teeth. They use that money for drug programs in the state of Tennessee. So if we get to retain that extra 2.4%, it's going to be a blessing. But we're still working on it. I just want to let you know, for the year of 2021, we did collect for mortgage and transfer taxes $18,473,386.31. So that's my report. Okay. We do rank 7th in 95 counties on those taxes. We rank 7th. Davidson County is number 1. So anyway, thank you. Has anybody got any questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay. Thank you.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Jackie. Trustees' report is in your packet from Mr. Major. I do not see him here. Do I hear a motion to approve the report?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Road Superintendent report, Mr. Steve Murphy.
Mayor, Commissioners, we're getting ready to get our paving kicked off. As everybody else has talked about, the weather has been kind of put a damper on everything, but we're getting ready to get started. Our roadside mowers have started last week, so they're out mowing across the county. We're still cutting trees and doing our patching and just doing our regular maintenance. That concludes my report.
How many trees have
We've had like 12 different roads that's had several trees on them. We're going north. It's done been paved.
I hear a motion.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Ag Center report, Mr. Quentin Smith.
Mayor, Commissioners, we've had a lot going on since we met in March. This past weekend, we had the Monster Truck Show. It was very successful, even though the rain was pretty muddy. But I would like to thank Steve Murphy. He's the one that helped us get the dirt in for the jumps, and Cindy Lynch out at the landfill helped us. So if it hadn't been for those two, we would have been in a lot of trouble as far as putting that thing together out there. But it ended up a pretty good sized crowd, even more than the promoter thought it would be. So it was very successful. The this coming weekend is Whipping Crackin' Rodeo. So if any of you want to come to it, it'll be on Friday and Saturday nights. They postponed it the last 2 years, but it'll be back in full swing this coming. Some of you commissioners, I know when we discussed the mule sale that had been moved to the Ag Center, if y'all would want to come, they tell me it's going to be one of the biggest ones they've ever had. It will be the 30th of this month. Saturday it'll start at 10 o'clock. So from all the calls we've had, I would say that it's going to fill up several motels, as many people as coming from out of state. One thing I would like to make sure we clear up, at the last commission meeting we had some confusion about the $1 million deal, and it ended up wrote up wrong in one of our local papers, and I received a lot of calls after that come out in the paper over the $1 million deal that we did here with Wilson Promotions. I want to make sure that all of you, if you get any calls about that thing, that Wilson Promotions, which I was involved in working with them, they went and borrowed the money. The $1 million is borrowed by Wilson Promotions, and they're the ones paying the interest, not the county commissioners, not taxpayers, because I had some people that I've never talked to before call and give me a good going over about that situation. And I in return called the paper and clarified that they didn't write that thing up right. What the deal is I think any time that we can talk Wilson Promotions into going and borrowing money to build buildings that becomes county property, and then if the money don't come in, we don't have to pay back anything. It still belongs to the county. So I want to make sure we clarified that, because we've got 3 of those buildings that they took bids on, and they have started those buildings out there. So hopefully the weather hasn't been too cooperative, all spring so far. So hopefully they can get those buildings up in time for the fair this year. The Tennessee building is slowly going up. I've talked to them, and they're hoping that it'll be done sometime in October if everything goes well on it. But that's kind of the status. Other thing, the wind storm that come through out there damaged us pretty good. We've got several buildings that got damaged. Working with the insurance folks on trying to make sure we get those buildings put back like they should be. That winds my report up. Has anybody got any questions for me?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Quentin. Expo Center report, Ms. Gail Hibbett.
Good evening, everybody. My report's pretty simple. You've got it on your desk. Looks like this. So it's quarter one, and what you'll see is a individual line item for each month for expenses, revenue, and then profit. None of those months did we experience a loss. And the total for the quarter is we have a profit of $85,275.52. And the rest of the year is trending very much that way. So there's some fluctuation from month to month depending on the type of event we have, but we are booking quickly. So pretty much when people call, it's what year do you want? Not sure, no problem. We have space. Anybody have any? And then behind that, actually, I have a list of what's coming up, and I just gave you through July just to kind of round out the next quarter. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Any question, Ms. Gill? Got a motion to second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you, Ms. Hibbett. Report from Public Works Committee, Commissioner Weathers.
Mr. Chairman, the Public Works Committee met here at the courthouse last Monday at 6 p.m., April the 11th, and the minutes will be in your next month's packet.
Thank you. Ag Center Management, Commissioner Scruggs.
No report.
Animal Control, Commissioner Marlowe.
No report.
Audit, Commissioner Bernard.
Audit Committee met March 30th at 5 o'clock upstairs here in the conference room. I make a motion we approve the report.
Second.
Minutes.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Broadband, Mr. Walker, Commissioner Walker.
No report.
Development Tourism, Commissioner Vanatta.
Yes, the Development and Tourism met Tuesday, April the 5th at 5:30 in the upstairs conference room. And our next meeting is scheduled for this coming Monday, the 25th at 5:30. At that time, we'll be reviewing the applications for funding requests. I move that this report be received and filed.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Ethics, Commissioner Ash.
No report.
Finance, Commissioner Gentry.
No report.
Health and Recreation, Commissioner Patton.
Health and, Recreation met on April the 30th for 3 hours. The minutes will be in your packets next month. And then Health and Welfare met on the 14th for 5 hours. And the minutes will be in your packet next month. Did I say the 30th? The 12th and the 14th is when they were.
Insurance, Commissioner Ash.
Mr. Chairman, the Insurance Committee met March 15th up here in the courthouse. A copy of the minutes are in your packet. Make a motion, receive, and file.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Judicial, Commissioner Glover.
Judicial met Tuesday, March 29th, at 5 p.m. in the conference room number 1. The minutes were in your packet. May they be received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Land and Zoning, Commissioner McFarland.
Mr. Mayor, no report. However, I wanted to comment to the commission that Mr. Bashears, Director Bashears, has had his 4 public meetings to update the land use plan. And again, that's a plan that we need to get updated as soon as possible and then live by it. There's no need having a plan if you don't live by it. And we're having a planning zoning meeting tomorrow night that will be discussing parts of that also. Just want to make an invitation to anybody. Thank you.
Rules, Commissioner Gentry.
No report.
Urban Top Facility Board, Commissioner Scruggs.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Finance Director's report, Mr. Aaron Maynard.
You got over 100%.
Just a very few things for me tonight. Your report, I'm not going to go any farther than the first page. We have received over 100% of budgeted property tax revenue for the year. So collections are coming in extremely well. We're in the budget process. People are coming in with their status quo budgets, their needs lists, their 5-year capital improvement plans. And the portal has been up both for Treasury submission for the American Rescue Plan and also for the state of Tennessee and to get their review on our plans. Both those plans are underway. We have the spending report due April 30 into the Treasury report, another one. So all that's progressing well. Should have something for you soon, hopefully from the state as far as their determination of everything that we've done so far, which I expect to be positive. If for any reason any of it's not positive, we still have revenue loss. So, again, I'm completely comfortable with where we are on that, and that concludes my report, unless you have any questions for me.
Move to be received and filed.
Second.
Discussion? Anybody? I would like to come in, Commissioner Breeze?
Yeah, my right to speak button's not working for some reason. So I've had a couple of questions about account 123, sports and recreation.
Yes.
Which I'm sure everybody in this room knows kind of what it is, but I figured that there's some confusion in the public as to what that account is. So could you just clarify?
Yeah, I don't remember what year the Speedway was built, but when the Speedway was built, it was built with the issuance of bonds. Those bonds were not issued by Wilson County. They were issued by the Sports Authority of Wilson County, which was a legal entity set up at that time. The agreement was that the tax from the improvements on the Speedway would be collected by the county and would be remitted to the Sports Authority of Wilson County to pay the principal and interest on the bonds. That is all 123 is the Sports Authority and some sales tax that revenue generated from the Speedway and Speedway improvements goes back to the Sports Authority to pay the principal and interest on the bonds. That's what it is. Yes, ma'am.
That was 1998-99.
88.99. Thank you, ma'am.
I've had some questions about where our soccer fields are, since we have sports and recreation. So that's why I figured we needed just some clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you.
Sure.
Commissioner Gentry?
How long are those bonds? Were they 25-year bonds, or do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I would say that's probably about right.
26 years.
26.
And when they're done, what happens to that money on the tax? Just comes here? Or?
At that point in time, it's my belief, and I would defer to the county attorney, but it's my belief that revenue no longer goes to that intended purpose anymore and becomes property of Wilson County.
I think it's correct.
It is correct.
Okay, thank you.
And I would like to commend Mr. Maynard and his staff. I don't know if he saw the email or not today, but from the money that we were not allowed in the very beginning when we filed for FEMA, they shorted us $60,000 through that portal because of some maybe some miscalculation they thought on the tonnage of the debris that we had. So we appealed that, and we were awarded that $60,000 something today. So that's a good thing. Thanks to Mr. Maynard and them for taking the time to fill that out and getting that extra money for us.
Thank you. I did see that, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anything else? All in favor say aye. Thank you. Report from the Budget Committee, Commissioner Marlowe.
Budget Committee met in regular session Thursday, April 7th, in upstairs conference room. Minutes are in your packet. I move they be received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Resolution 22-4-2, approving an increase in ambulance medical billing for Wilson Emergency Management Agency.
Second. Any discussion? And if you're pushing your button and it don't register, just raise your hand. That way I'll call on you. You think we got it fixed? Okay. All right. Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0, resolution passes.
Resolution 22-4-3, to amend the budget and appropriation resolutions by approving Wilson County Board of Education Budget Amendment 2022-09.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Bernard? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0, resolution passes.
Resolution 22-4-4, approving the governmental grant contract to construct an awning at Wilson County Health Department.
Motion.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0.
Resolution 22-4-5, to reflect revenues received but not included in the original budget, and to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an additional appropriation into WEMA, Homeland Security.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25 and 0.
Resolution 22-4-6, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from the general fund into WEMA.
Motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Weathers, Commissioner Patton. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25 and 0.
Resolution 22-4-7, to amend the budget and appropriation resolutions to make an additional appropriation from the general fund into veteran services.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Walker?
Never mind.
Okay. Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25 and 0, resolution passes.
Resolution 22-4-8, to reflect revenues received but not included in the original budget, and to amend the budget and appropriation resolutions to make an additional appropriation into trustee.
Motion. Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Dow, Commissioner Walker? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25 and 0.
Resolution 22-4-9, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for line item transfers in libraries.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 5 and 0.
Resolution 22-4-10, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution for line item transfers in landfill.
Motion.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 5 and 0.
Resolution 22-4-11, to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an additional appropriation from general fund into juvenile services.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I've got a question.
Yes.
On this, being that it's operational, is it gonna be on the needs list for ongoing funding? Since we're basically adding a position.
Now, if we put it in the way it's presented right here, it will not need to go on the needs list. This would carry it for a full year. So
Okay.
Be done.
And it,
So just automatically be on the budget for next
It would
year?
be part of the continuation budget, yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Kurtz?
technically, it's a half a position. There was a part-time position moving to a full-time position.
Yes.
So it's not a full position.
I just wanted to make sure because like when we did WEMA, we actually pulled fund balance for 185 to carry through to June 30th and then put it on the needs list. So I wasn't sure if that's how this was being done
Shouldn't be there.
or if we're just approving the increase to their budget and then that would carry through even though we're in the budget season. So, okay,
I believe that's the way it's gonna happen.
okay. I just want a clarification. Thank you.
Fair enough. Any other questions? All right, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0, resolution passes.
Resolution 22-4-12 to reflect revenues received but not included in the original budget and to amend the budget and appropriation resolutions to make an additional appropriation into finance.
Do you hear a motion?
Finance, wait.
What's the name of it again?
This one doesn't have a number on it.
I think this is, we don't have,
That one without a number to the very end.
16.
Yeah.
It's stuck together behind one, so I missed it.
so this one we,
This one's 12.
okay.
The one that doesn't
Yeah,
have a
this,
number.
this one don't have a number.
Health Department one?
Yeah.
16.
So we'll go with 12 now.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Question. Do we need to read number 12?
I just did.
He did? Okay, I got you. Commissioner McFarland.
Yes, I'm trying to get an excuse me, explanation for the change.
You read 12, Sandra.
You read 12? Got you.
You read 12.
Okay.
16.
Commissioner McFarland, go ahead.
On number 12, so we're clear, the explanation for change is a little bit bewildering. Request transfer for fund for Amazon credit that was not truly a credit. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Aaron, explain it to him.
Yeah, I'll do my best. So according to LeBronya, we were told that there was a credit out there for $3,679, and as it turned out, there were actual orders out there that with the credit, and they were appropriate. It was never supposed to be a credit. So what this is doing is reversing, even though they had previously told us there was going to be a credit, there was not one. So it's as confusing with me saying it as it is on the paper. But that's
You're more confusing now.
It's just, it's just,
Move to approve.
isn't it just trying to reverse a payment, basically?
basically, yes, ma'am.
Simple terms, reversing a payment.
Cleaning up the paperwork. Are any more questions? Are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0.
Resolution 22-4-13 to reflect the revenues received but not included in the original budget and to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an additional appropriation into county buildings.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0, resolution passes.
Resolution 22-4-14 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make additional appropriation from general fund into clerk and master.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote.
Ask the question.
All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0, resolution passes.
Resolution 22-4-15 to reflect revenues received but not included in the original budget and to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an additional appropriation into archives.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Commissioner Glover, Commissioner Staff. All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record.
And Resolution 22-4-16 to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an additional appropriation from general fund into health department.
Motion.
Discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Mr. McFarland? All hearts and minds good with your vote? Please record. 25-0. Any old business to come before the body? Any new business to come before the body?
Possibility to get that light dimmed or something. There's such a glare off that screen we talked about.
I'll work on that. Okay.
I know it is.
I need one more motion. Ho. Commissioner Walker.
I want to say thank you to the Election Commission workers for pulling off this primary election. It's a short season, came at us real fast. They're doing a great job, and also to the poll workers out there.
Anything else before this body? Hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
We are adjourned.